Hi, welcome to lesson number 8, module 1 of the Apache Spark and Scala course. So in this particular lesson, we will be comparing Hadoop and Spark. Now before we proceed with the lesson, let's have a quick recap of the previous lesson. So in the previous session, we understood 4 specific use cases of Spark, such as event detection, for computing, machine learning, and streaming data. Now in this particular lesson, we will be checking what exactly is the Hadoop framework and what is the programming framework called MapReduce, a brief history of same and a comparison of Spark and MapReduce, and then we will look at the improvements in Spark over MapReduce. We will also see deployment of Hadoop and Spark and the integration of Spark on top of Hadoop. Now, what exactly is Hadoop? Hadoop is one of the first framework which offered a solution to the big data problem. It is a framework for storing, processing, and analyzing big data. Now, the basic idea behind Hadoop is to keep the storage and processing distributed and build the entire infrastructure on commodity machine clusters. So if you look at any typical Hadoop installation, you can see that the Hadoop will be installed in a cluster of machines which are commodity cheap servers, and it uses the power of distributed storage and processing to process your data. And Hadoop is an Apache open source framework. Now, if you look at the core components of Hadoop, there are 2 major components. One is called HDFS and the second is called MapReduce. Now, HDFS, or the Hadoop Distributed File System, is the storage component of Hadoop. It is the distributed file system which Hadoop uses to store whole data. So when you install Hadoop in a cluster, all the storage space of individual machines in the cluster will be combined to create a distributed storage file system which is called HDFS. Now, when you think about processing the data in Hadoop, that is handled by the framework called MapReduce. So basically, MapReduce is a distributed processing framework. Well, what it allows you to do is to use or leverage the combined processing power of all the machines in the cluster, or in other words, enable parallelism in processing. Now, if you go deeper into architecture of HDFS, which is the storage component, you can see that there is a master-slave architecture which is enforced here. So the master machine in HDFS is called name node. Name node is responsible for storing the metadata. It keeps track of all system metadata. The slave machines are called data nodes, and they actually offer the raw storage. Whenever you are storing any data in Hadoop, the data is broken into small chunks called blocks, and then they are distributed in different data nodes. The location of each these chunks or blocks are saved as metadata in name node. Now every data node periodically send heartbeat messages to name node to inform the availability of blocks they have and also the storage utilization. Now when you come to the MapReduce framework, which is used for processing, it is executed through a cluster manager called Yarn. Now Yarn has 2 major components called Resource Manager and Node Manager. Resource Manager is the master machine which is responsible for globally allocating the resources to run your program. Node managers run on every slave machines which can monitor the individual resource utilization. Now let's understand MapReduce in a bit more detail. MapReduce is a programming framework available by default on top of Hadoop. By default, MapReduce programs are written in Java. This doesn't mean that Java is the only language. You can write MapReduce programs using Python, Ruby, C#, and so on. Now MapReduce is used to process huge amount of data in parallel, which is stored in a distributed fashion in a cluster. Now the traditional systems store the data in one machine, but systems such as Hadoop stores the data in the distributed cluster. This means a new programming framework is required which can parallelly identify the data and process them following the data locality principle. Now, data processing is done in a reliable and fault-tolerant manner by using MapReduce. Even though MapReduce is very powerful and most of the analysis on Hadoop happens through MapReduce, there are a lot of limitations for MapReduce. First of all, it is very difficult to program natively in MapReduce, especially if you are using languages like Java. Second, there are a lot of performance bottlenecks, especially when you are having small batches of data. And when you want to use algorithms which are in the category of iterative, MapReduce poses certain limitations. Iterative algorithms keep on iterating through the data sets. This requires a lot of read and write operations from the original data, which MapReduce takes a lot of time to finish. So in short, MapReduce doesn't compose well for large applications. It has a limited complex programming API and pipelining tasks, or in other words, iterative algorithms are very difficult to program on MapReduce. Fine. Now let's look at a brief history of Spark. Now the main design idea or goal of Spark is to generalize the MapReduce concepts so that programmers can easily write programs and which can be executed at any scale. Now, two reasonably small features added in Spark are enough to express this idea. The first one is fast data sharing and second one is the general DAGs for lazy processing. So this makes Spark more efficient as an engine and much simpler for end users. So when you compare Spark versus Hadoop MapReduce limitations are high latency and there is no in-memory caching and a complicated code. So whenever you are writing a MapReduce code, there is a lot of intermediate data being generated and that has to be persisted onto the hard disk. So you are never able to achieve the complete in-memory performance. Wherein if you look at Spark, it offers you complete in-memory processing. The API is very easy to program, especially when you are using languages such as Scala or Python, which are concise. So, and Spark can be portable on any platform. You can even run Spark standalone on Windows. And with the in-memory capacity, Spark applications can be 100 times faster than MapReduce in the RAM and at least 10 times faster on the hard disk. Of the improvements in Spark. Now Spark improves the efficiency through in-memory computing primitives. So like I explained previously, the entire dataset can be stored and accessed and transformed within the main memory. And it also allows you other programming APIs such as graphics. So if you are interested in graph programming, then Spark natively supports the graphics API. Using that you can program that. And the usability is improved through the rich APIs in Scala, Java and Python. And Spark also provides you the REPL or the read execute program loop, which is on Scala and Python. Now let's look at the combination of Spark on top of Hadoop. So as of now, we have understood Spark as a replacement for MapReduce. This means Spark is just a general purpose execution engine. It doesn't care about a cluster manager or storage. So this way you can easily integrate Spark with Hadoop. You can use the native HDFS for storage and Yarn for cluster resource manager. Now, if you look at the combination of Spark and Hadoop, you are getting unlimited scalability with ease of development when you combine them. You also get in-memory performance on an enterprise platform and wide range of applications which can be combined to form workflows. In this slide, you can see that Spark very well integrates with the Hadoop just like another execution engine. So you can see here that the core storage for Spark when installed on top of Hadoop is HDFS, and it can use the same Yarn cluster resource manager for managing the Spark cluster, and Spark can be very well be a replacement for MapReduce. And with the extension APIs and libraries such as MLlib, Spark SQL and Graphics, you don't have to install hundreds of tools on top of Hadoop for addressing different needs. So to wrap up in this particular lesson, we have learned what exactly is Hadoop and what is MapReduce, a brief history of Spark and MapReduce, the comparison between them, and how Spark can be integrated with Hadoop. That's all for this lesson.
If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to raise a support ticket. Thank you.